mid-game. So looking forward to seeing some of that. Less rigidity, more responsiveness.
Pep Guardiola cited as a major influence for Rod Underwood, an indication of potentially what CFC fans may expect. As we're underway, the ball is rolling, bodies in motion. Maryland Bobcats will control the opening possession here today on a 60-degree afternoon, on a cloud in the sky in Scenic City, as possession already picked away quickly by Chattanooga FC, and they'll start on the back line with Travis Ward. It's a very fundamental focus that sounds so simple, right? We can score when we have the ball, we can't when we don't, and that's the basis for everything Chattanooga wants to do under Rod Underwood.
Well, that's exactly it, and that's easy to say, hard to do sometimes. In the pressure of the game and the momentum that's going on, and you're trying to focus on that, the bigger picture is sometimes you aren't doing that and you think you are. So we're going to watch carefully today in this team's first game of the 2022 season, just in what shape they're in, and if what Rod's been doing before the game is going to work out. We'll find out. I'm pretty sure it will, but you know, you never know until you actually kick the ball the first time.
Lifted down the left flank it goes. Chattanooga FC trying to get on the front foot early. Here's Roddy Green pressuring, looking to win back possession, and he does. But a quick whistle, offside flag went up, and it's Maryland Bobcats with a free kick deep in their own half. Another product of that, winning possession back quickly when losing it, and that's kind of an example right there. Starting in goal for Maryland Bobcats, Felix Anand gets things started to his left back, Yaya Fane. Quick triangles of possession for Maryland Bobcats, looking to work its way into Chattanooga's half, and they do so at the foot of Joseph Boone. He splays it wide left. This is Davey Mason tearing down the left flank. Left-footed cross inside, bounced safely into the chest of Kevin Gonzalez.
Yeah, not too difficult for Kevin Gonzalez there. But a good move from the Bobcats, showing intent early on. They're not going to sit back and let Chattanooga dictate the pace of the play. I think two teams that both want to make an impact. Obviously, everybody wants to win their first game, and this is no different. Both teams working on the system and trying to really get those 3 points on the board in the first game. It's a great way to start the season off. But there's a few minutes to go before we see that happen. There's a great long ball.
That's Alex Mcgrath putting it ahead, and closing in was Roddy Green, who couldn't get there in time, but Chattanooga FC looking for an incisive approach early.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how Roddy does. His parents have been here in town for the last couple of days and been very supportive of Roddy, and really keen to see how they do. But they're in the crowd today. I hope they're enjoying the game. Mason
Dispels possession back to Chattanooga with Travis Ward. Alex Mcgrath able to spin out of trouble. And Nick Spielman, a foundational piece of the Chattanooga back line dating back to last year. We'll start over with Gonzalez. Spielman, a NISA All-League first-team defender. So for all the new faces you're going to see with Chattanooga FC, Spielman certainly not one of them. This is Ward. Couldn't line up the ball down the right side as it's intercepted by Mason. Brandon Clegg blasts it where Spielman can flick it back into the Maryland half. Pressure from Chattanooga is won by Roddy Green. Ian Cerro on the ball. Former Chicago House product, wearing the number 7, a guy that Underwood wanted to sign dating back to his Stumptown days. That's Travis Ward, tries the diagonal ball down the left flank. Whistle, free kick for Maryland on the first foul of the afternoon.
It's a bit of a soft one, Luke, because I think that was really a foul, but...
That's Taylor Gray whistled for it.
Yeah.
Gray playing against some familiar faces today, wearing number 22 for CFC, a former Maryland Bobcat. Spent the last fall season with this squad. So Chattanooga able to win back possession in the early goings here on a free kick. That will be interesting to see. You can tell so much, you feel like, about a coach and his philosophy based on set pieces from this area of the field, right? And looks like Chattanooga is going to look to keep progressive possession here as they'll win a throw-in. Cerro. Expect to hear his name a lot roaming around the Chattanooga midfield. Back with Spielman. This is Frankie Martinez. Roddy Green in chase. Looks like he took the ball, hit from Richard Forka right to the left side of his face.
Right in the face, those hurt.
Down being tended to.
It's going to knock him out. Plus the concussion rules are in place now. They'll be checking him for that too, because that's a pretty heavy kick. So, yeah, so far Chattanooga get most of the play. Bobcats happy to sit back a little while and see how they do. It's interesting you mentioned some of those teams that we've had here in the last season, the last couple of years have all come to Chattanooga FC and played. And one of the draws of the people who've signed from those teams to come play at Chattanooga is they just love the atmosphere and the fans here. They say it's just a great place to come and play. Some of the stadiums they go to are a bit quiet, not so exciting, don't get the support. They say Chattanooga is like #1 for support and atmosphere. And that's one of those, what you would call not a concrete factor, but it's one of those soft factors that makes you want to come play here. And makes it so great watching the game here. So,
as Roddy Green is helped off on the far side and will try and come back in. It'll be a Maryland throw-in. Well, that was a key focal point for Coach Underwood as well. Obviously spent last season with Stumptown. Plenty of previous stops coaching abroad in Sierra Leone and Jamaica, as well as his assistant with the Portland Timbers before their MLS days. Played his college soccer as the first African-American to ever play at Furman in the mid-'80s, and cited that atmosphere and fan and community support as a huge reason why Chattanooga FC was an attractive position, as a free kick is won again by Maryland Bobcats, and you wonder if we'll get a booking early on here, and we will.
First yellow card in the 7th minute, very early on.
I believe that goes to Taylor Gray in the middle of the scrum there.
I think so. It wasn't, again, particularly hard tackle, but
And that's Bobcat down.
All right, we've seen a lot of that again. The player goes down like he's been shot, and he's back up again in 2 seconds, so we'll see.
So Taylor Gray goes into the book for the first time this season.
Yep, first yellow card of the 2022 season against his old team.
A Hughesville, Maryland native, product of Reinhardt University, and second whistle on Gray will be the first card shown against CFC in 2022. Up and shaking it off is Brandon Clegg. Fane splits the middle of the field, and good quick passing by Maryland turns into a turnover, one back by Frankie Martinez. Out for a throw-in. Joseph Boone concedes possession and is back with Nick Gonzalez. Gonzalez in goal for Chattanooga, another former Stumptown player, a very key piece of what Rod Underwood wants to do in keeping possession. Helped lead Stumptown to the third best mark in NISA last season in goals conceded. But almost not a product of stout defense, right? And more so of this playing style of keeping possession.
That's what we're seeing now with the triangle of Ward and Hernandez and Spielman. They're following out on. Richard Dixon actually is playing more of a defensive midfield. He's a little bit further up. And he's just keeping an eye on that. But obviously Richard would like to be there because he spent so much time in defence, but he's using his skills as the midfielder and the captain with his experience of CFC to make sure everything runs as it should do.
Chattanooga trying to break the counter. Here comes CFC. Taylor Gray tearing down the right side. Couldn't get the feed in from Mcgrath. Maryland will look to swing things back down the other way. You'll see that often. Chattanooga throwing numbers forward in quick moments like that when winning back possession. Fane. surrounded by CFC players. It's given up to Frankie Martinez. He's able to shield it away for Nick Gonzalez. Dixon. Martinez.
That's some nice confident defending there, Lucas. When you've got pressure on you to let it shield back to the goalkeeper like that.
Greg Stratton tried to go down the line. Excuse me, Travis Ward, who throws it back into play. Spielman. Ian Cerro on the ball. Mcgrath.
10 minutes played, Chattanooga being very patient, Lucas. They aren't pushing for gaps there, aren't they? That's a good long ball.
A line-breaking long ball by Spielman, and the quick pass inside is cut off. Davey able to win it back for Maryland. And here come the Bobcats. Espinal. Fane. This is Brandon Clegg. Forca. Chested down by Green. Ian Cerro tries the quick flick on towards Brett Jones.
Offside though. Good idea, but the linesman caught that one. Just a few steps too far offside.
Pressure by Jones, looking to win it back from Fane. And Spielman looking to clean things up. But it's won back by Manuel Gonzalez. Here's Davey Mason. Gonzalez, the 31-year-old Colombian. A lot of new faces for this Maryland Bobcat squad as well. 2 lead goal scorers from last season. Not here today. One no longer on the roster. One that did not travel. So a lot for first-year head coach Sylvain Rostello to figure out about his team today as well. And when you ask Rod Underwood about it, to be quite honest, Simon, it doesn't affect what he does and his plan coming in.
No, not really, because both teams are learning to, a new system with a new coach, so they're both kind of in the same position. And studying the team's play from last year doesn't tell you a great deal because so many players have moved on or have transferred teams. So you've really got to take it as it comes on the moment. And that's why the flexibility is so important, as mentioned, rather than just sticking to one system he sets up at the first minute and plays the entire game. Being ready to adapt as the team changes, and it will, is going to be one of the keys to this game.
A 5-game preseason, that's what Rod Underwood had to get his team ready for the start of this NISA campaign. Throw in one by Gray. Ward getting things organized.
Yeah, although Ward's a defender, he's playing like an attacking defender. He's coming up the wing and feeding up the channels on both sides in the same way as Andy Roberts at Liverpool or Kieran Tierney at Arsenal. And that's a modern style of play we've seen the last couple of years in the game.
This is whipped in by Ward. Collected by Anand.
Oh.
There was contact in the box.
There was.
Nothing given. And here comes Maryland.
Roddy Green waving his arms to the penalty, but the referee not interested.
Ball clipped away by Stratton, and Green is able to hang on to it. Too many Bobcats around him. It's given back quickly. Chattanooga taken back by Mcgrath. CFC will look to get in business again. Long ball by Ward. Again, too long for Jones. Here's Darwin Espinal. Forca. Back it goes to Gonzalez. Now Maryland settling into some possession here. Manuel Gonzalez. Back and forth with Alvarado. And Bobcats trying to set up shop in Chattanooga's half. Ball drifted out for a throw in, and that will end that spell of possession.
Interesting to see the Chattanooga defense able to slow Maryland down and stop them from making something happen there. Again, it's a matter of being patient while these things are going on rather than trying something dramatic. They're just holding them out and just stop them making forward progress. They're letting them make sideways progress, not forward progress.
Mason. Gonzalez, season opening, chested down. Joseph Boone couldn't quite get the control he wanted for a turning shot to test Gonzalez.
Yeah, he didn't get the support from his attackers. He was kind of on his own, and you can only do so much when you're on your own.
Maryland will try to reset the threat. This is Darwin Espinal. There's a whistle, a free kick in a dangerous area for Maryland Bobcats.
Slim Posse, number 8, gone down there. So he was hit by a ton of bricks. I didn't really see much contact with that one. Maybe turned his ankle, but enough to win him a free kick in a good spot anyway. 22 yards out.
Well, Chattanooga fans have seen plenty of Darwin Espinal. He appears to be the one standing over it here. Spent last season with Detroit City. Two goals, 2 assists for the champions last season. Time with the New York Cosmos before that. The Honduras U23 national team. Does he go for goal here?
Well, we know Darwin Espinal can be dangerous from this distance, so he may have a go at it. Be a real test for Chattanooga's goalkeeper. See how Kevin Gonzalez handles the free kick.
19th minute as Maryland looks to break the deadlock. Espinal goes for goal off the crossbar.
Wow.
Ripped in by the Honduran, and Chattanooga wins a free kick.
Brett Jones gets a knock on the head.
And the danger's over for the moment.
And there's that yellow card again.
So the booking for a high kick on Brett Jones will be the first of the season for Maryland, and it goes against Posse.
Posse again wins the foul, gets the yellow card.
Not a bad attempt from Darwin Espinal as Gonzalez watched it clatter off the crossbar, and Chattanooga able to survive the moment. 20th minute, still scoreless in the season opener. Ward, Green.
Nice touch from Cerro there, wins a round of applause in the crowd.
To the far side goes Dixon. This is Greg Stratton. Gives himself a nice touch that he can't keep up with.
Right out and runs out of real estate with a good move and a good idea to switch sides quickly and turn on the afterburners. Interesting move. If Chattanooga can bring some of those moves off, we're going to see some shots on goal and some dangerous strikes, I think.
Are you seeing more of Chattanooga maybe switching the field and going long over the top than you would have anticipated?
Not really. It's a standard technique in the modern game is to switch sides quickly. All the great managers do that, and it's expected. Chattanooga did it quite a bit last year, but not with much success. They had the idea, but not the execution. So I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of that, but with more accurate passing this year.
Taylor Gray going straight at Possian, gets the edge to the goal line, goes down.
He goes down. Again, the corner given, but Gray expecting a penalty, I think.
So the game's starting to liven up here as fans continue to work their way into Finley Stadium. Alex Mcgrath teeing up the corner kick. You can see the wind ripping through about 16 miles per hour today in Chattanooga as you look at the corner flag. Ball comes in from the far side and it's put at the top of the 18. Cerro
did not get hold of that right at all, did he?
Didn't get what he wanted on it.
Not really.
Dixon goes right back to Mcgrath, though, and it's
ball.
onside. Mcgrath can square up a ball at the penalty spot into the 18. Cerro gives himself another opportunity, forces the save.
That's a good shot.
Taylor Gray able to recollect for Chattanooga, and it's another corner kick for CFC.
Good pressure from Chattanooga. This is what we expect to see in this game.
Felix Anand truly tested for the first time this afternoon on a shot from the top of the box by Ian Cerro.
Yeah, the wind is blowing into the Bobcats' goal in this direction, so it's going to make it a little unpredictable. And it'll probably make this corner bend a bit. If they kick it up, it'll actually drift in towards the goal.
Alex Mcgrath sends it in.
Oh.
Anand got a glove to it. I believed he did, but they're going to say it's a goal kick for Maryland. Chattanooga players protesting.
I don't think it skimmed the top of the crossbar, but it was quick. Hard to be certain from this distance.
So a quick flurry for Chattanooga FC emanating from the corner. And we remain scoreless in the 23rd minute.
Both teams having shots on goal, though. I'm not expecting this to be a goalless game, Lucas. I'm expecting to see some action in both ends.
Looks as though both teams want to keep possession right. Both teams want to press forward.
Yep, any chance they see a gap, they're going to go for it. You'll see a lot of that in early season games because people are fresh. They aren't as tired as they are during the season. They're just going to see a gap and go.
Forka. Elijah Amo. Whip to the near side with Davey Mason. Pressured by Green. And back with Fane. Espinal with a bit of space down the left touch line, able to get past Dixon. Left-footed pass to the penalty spot, thumped away. Frankie Martinez found the end of it, and here's a Chattanooga free kick for a collision near midfield.
Yeah, Brett Jones going down again. They obviously got Brett marked as the danger man, and they're putting pressure on when they get the chance.
Well, he's seen a physical 23 and a half minutes, Brett Jones has.
He has. He's been down the field before quite a bit.
Such a key piece of this formation as the lone man up top for Rod Underwood, needing goal scorers in a possession-based offense. 4 goals last season to Brett Jones' name.
Yeah, Brett certainly came on towards the end of the season, started scoring goals. At the start it was more Marcus Nagelstad last year, and this year it's been Brett came on. So I hope to continue that and see him hitting the back of the net again and again.
Well, both had 4 goals apiece last season. Nagelstad signed this week by Chattanooga FC. He'll remain on the roster for 2022.
That's a good ball to Cerro.
Cerro squares up Green, top of the box. It's just clipped away by Alvarado, and Forca has to clear the danger for a throw-in.
Again, good pressure from Chattanooga.
A free kick given. Say it was a foul along the 18. Or correction, looks like it'll be a Maryland throw-in. Forca to Cerro goes down, wins the free kick between two Bobcats.
Yeah, we'll see what Chattanooga can do from a set piece. They've got something they've been working on over the closed season.
So Mcgrath and Gray will chat about it here.
Yeah, height-wise, the teams are fairly evenly matched, but see Nick Spillman's going up the box too from defence because he uses extra height to go in there.
Taking his 6'2" frame into a dangerous area.
Yes, he is.
Gray will put a touch on it. Mcgrath will lob it in back post, and Anand collects.
Good save from Anand. They read that one and got right behind it. But again, dangerous to Chattanooga. They got away from the markers. Those yellow shirts broke towards the goal, and that was a good intent to attack. They can make that connection, then there's a goal coming.
Pausian goes down, no whistle, rolled out for a Chattanooga throw-in. Martinez. Cerro in a battle for the aerial ball, and there's a free kick awarded to Maryland. Mcgrath colliding into Espinal, who has it quickly again for the Bobcats. Down he goes to Mason with space to work with. Mason straight up against Ward, and it's shielded out over the goal line for a goal kick by Travis Ward.
Yeah, good defense from Travis Ward there. Keeping Mason off him.
Spent time with the Michigan Stars before joining Rod Underwood at Stumptown and then being brought over here to Scenic City. Travis Ward, the 26-year-old out of Ocean City, New Jersey. Cerro with space, lobbed for Jones, but it's met by the head of Mason. Switch ball intended for Forca, and Stratton will watch that bounce over the touchline. Here's Cerro. Again, controlling the pace of things in midfield, Ian Cerro. Jones. Tapped ahead to Mcgrath. Mcgrath looking for an angle for the cross. And that's out for a corner kick before Manuel Gonzalez was able to clear it away. This time from the near side, Chattanooga will have its third corner here in the 28th minute. Taylor Gray will provide the service. Plays it short to Cerro. Mcgrath. Cerro straight to the head of Gonzalez. And back with Dixon.
Chattanooga doing what Coach Umbra wanted to do, keeping possession here, rather than just wildly shooting or wildly crossing there. Focusing on that possession.
Roddy Green does just that, keeping it for CFC before quickly losing out to Pausian.
See, it's commentator's curse, Lucas. Shouldn't have said that.
Right. Well, it's a free kick for Chattanooga as Pausian kind of stiff-armed Greg Stratton, so to speak, to give Chattanooga a free kick.
Another good place for a free kick for Chattanooga. Let's see what they've got with something that's more direct than the last one.
So a conference happening around the ball with CFC players. In the 30th minute, no score, season opener. First game of the Rod Underwood era at Chattanooga and the Sylvain Rostello era at Maryland. Cerro and Mcgrath having a deep discussion here. Ball in by Cerro. Lob to the back post and lob too far.
Looking for Travis Ward, his height, but just too much on it.
Ian Cerro feels like a guy that will be playing 90 minutes routinely for Rod Underwood this season.
Oh, absolutely. I can see that already. He's one of the key players in this squad. I think the wind's making it a little trickier because the wind is really accelerating the ball. What would normally work in a training scenario suddenly goes an extra couple of meters and doesn't do what it's supposed to do. This wind.
Spielman. Alvarado and Gray caught in the battle where it leaks out to Cerro. Chattanooga back in business. Richard Dixon. Cerro with the clever turn. Ends up at the feet of Gray. Spielman. Diagonally goes to Gray. And the former Maryland Bobcat squares up service, finds a deflection off of a Maryland player. Coming back to collect is Roddy Green, but the offside flag is up.
Linesman's flag is going up a lot. Got a couple of players down with a collision in the box too. Nagelstad, take a quick look at them. This is definitely what I was thinking Underwood would make the team do. He's very animated as you aren't seeing him maybe in your shot at home, but he's up and down all the time on the touchline to give instructions to the team.
Brett Jones still down for Chattanooga.
Yeah. We're seeing a different style of play from last year. We're enjoying that. I'm sure the fans are too down the field.
As Jones is helped up and try and walk it off. Fane being helped off by a trainer from Maryland. So what's the biggest difference in that style of play? What stands out to you the most as we're half an hour in?
What we're seeing, Lucas, is the possession and focusing on passing to each other. The passing wasn't that great at the end of last season. I thought it got a bit ragged. And it's a lot better than it was. We're still giving the ball away a little bit too easily, but in general, we're keeping possession and staying positive and pushing up all the time. Last season, again, a little bit too much playing back to the keeper to reset the team. And this time we're resetting in the midfield around Richard Dixon and seeing a little more progression and keeping the ball on the field rather than at the end of the field, so that it's not as far to go to attack the opposing goal. Simple as that, really. That means less running, less energy, fresher players. A small thing, but over the term of 90 minutes, it makes a difference.
Brett Jones back out onto the field of play. They'll go quickly check in with the Chattanooga trainer on the sideline, as did Yaya Fane for Maryland Bobcats. Both teams at full strength again here as Greg Stratton battles along the touchline, and it's a Maryland throw-in. Forka. Clegg. Here comes Maryland.
Trying to go for that fast break. Good interception there.
Martinez cut it off.
Yeah, he's looking sharp, Frankie Martinez. He's very aware of what's going on around him.
Another former Stumptown player following Rod Underwood here to Chattanooga. Cerro wins it back. It goes to Mcgrath.
Some good one-touch soccer here. Keeping the ball moving rather than trying to get the perfect touch. Just getting a good touch as they move.
Ward, in a battle with the touchline, concedes possession. This is Darwin Espinal going straight up against Spielman. Spielman won the battle.
No foul given. Referee says play on.
Roddy Green. One touch quickly to Jones, and they look for the 1-2. Jones won't be able to chase that down.
Too much on that, but the right idea again. The quick turn, quick change of pace.
Felix Anand. Forka. It's possessed by Elijah Amo. That's good work by Maryland here with quick passing. And it's closed down by Mcgrath.
Yes, but now showing what a danger he can be on this left wing.
2 goals, 2 assists last season for the champions, Detroit City.
Yeah, he's quite the danger man. I was expecting to see Kay Banjo, but he's not playing in this Bobcats team, and he was their danger man last season. But Espinal's filled his shoes pretty well.
Well, he had 2 players with 6 goals for Bobcats last season. Really, the majority of their scoring coming from those 2. You mentioned Banjo, as he said, not on the team in 2022. And Molly Carpa Jr., the other, who is on the roster but did not make the trip. So a question Maryland fans likely asking as well, where will the goals come from? And Espinal is certainly a candidate for that.
I think he's going to be the main one. I'm thinking any of Chattanooga's strikers can step up to that. Jones, Green, Frere and Gray. We got, of course, Marcus Nagelstad back too. That's going to be reassuring to see someone who is very solid as a goal scorer. So we've got the potential. Got to see if we can get it into action.
Well, here's a guy on the ball in Mcgrath who led Stumptown in goals last season with 3.
Ooh, down again.
Slaloms into the Maryland half, can't win the free kick.
No free kick.
Espinal trying to fight off Mcgrath. Free kick, Maryland.
Espinal down on the ground again. And it's a yellow card for Brett Jones. The foul on Espinal.
Second booking of the game for Chattanooga, 3rd total. So Jones goes into the book in the 37th minute alongside Taylor Gray.
Underwood talking to the full official about that. Not very happy.
Underwood having a chat with Wes Cowett. Espinal briefly got out of the danger, but runs out of real estate, and it's another free kick given to Maryland. A correction, the throw-in.
It's a throw-in, and the players are protesting about that, because I'm pretty sure it came off of the Bobcats player.
And now a correction
Now,
by Kyle Johnston.
pay attention, folks. It's always going to keep changing.
Our center referee, Kyle Johnston, has kept control of things here, certainly with 3 yellow cards shown. 2 to Chattanooga, 1 to Maryland. Cerro. Spielman. Martinez. Martinez will progress the ball. Finds an opening with Greg Stratton. And right back we go to the center of the 4-man back line, Nick Spielman. Well, when Rod Underwood highlights his coaching influences, it's Johan Cruyff, it's Pep Guardiola, Marco Bielsa, really any possession-based manager in world football. How much of that have you seen through 40 minutes?
I've seen a lot of that. Those are 3 great names to pick out. And they're really focusing on the whole game.
Ball in by Jones. Anand came in strong, collided with Green, but held on to the ball, and he remains down, the Maryland goalkeeper.
He got a bit of a knock there. That was good play. Out of nothing while we were talking, suddenly they just turned the attack on.
Jones able to generate a cross from the right flank, and Anand.
Yeah, it's a good play from Chattanooga there.
Puts his body on the line to cut off the danger.
That's what we're seeing. That's what we're saying just now about the coaching style, the keeping possession and suddenly the break out of nothing. And that was a classic case of it. It just catches the opponents on the back foot and If Anand hadn't committed to that ball, that probably would have been a goal. But he had to commit, and that's why he got hurt, because occupational hazard being a goalkeeper.
So he'll be looked at by the Maryland trainer as we sit heading into the 41st minute in a scoreless game to open up the 2022 season. Felix Anand, the 27-year-old native of Ghana, an experienced player, spent the 2019 summer on the African Cup of Nations roster with Ghana.
That's a pretty good accolade to be on their national team. That's pretty cool. He's trainer's getting him back up. Let's see how he does. Walk that off. So if they bought a reserve goalkeeper, they bought 4 reserves with them on the bench for the Bobcats today. Chattanooga got 9. I expect them to rotate some of those guys in, and Roddy want to give them some playing time. But, I think he's moving around normally. Just got to walk that one off, as they say in the game.
Well, 18 players were brought by Maryland today, and NISA's expanded it to where team sheets can consist of 20 players on the bench and able to come in as one of the 5 substitutes. Maryland electing to stick with 18 today. As Anand get us back underway. Fane, the Ivorian defender, up to Espinal, and it's a throw in for Maryland. Mason into Espinal. One back by Jones. Unable to wiggle through a pair of Bobcats, but does win the throw-in. Martinez. Sarah with a pocket of space. Wide to Gray. Gray, one-on-one with Boone. Takes it straight to the goal line. Could present an opportunity. Lifted in, nobody there. Collected by Mcgrath.
Oh.
Fires a shot off, and it's cut off.
Good shot there. Just
Davey Mason.
blocked. Yeah, Mason played very well to block that.
Lays out for the block, but Chattanooga still with it in the 43rd minute.
Chattanooga pushing for. They can get a goal before half time, and we got player down.
Man down is Roddy Green for CFC.
Coaching staff indicating he's probably going to have to be subbed out. He's hurt. So we may see a substitution for the last couple of minutes of the first half, which is drawing to a close 0-0. I can't help feeling there's still a lot of goals in this. It hasn't happened yet, but they're coming. It's like Damon Rodriguez getting ready to go on.
Well, not sure Rod Underwood planned on making any substitutions before halftime. In fact, he said before the game, anytime he heads into a match at kickoff, he has no plans for subs. It just depends on what the game gives him, and the game has given him an opportunity to send on the youngster, Damian Rodriguez.
Yep, we always love to see Damian playing, don't we? He's always a joy to watch. Still wearing those shirts that are too big for him. He's always somebody's kid brother showed up, but he's so great to watch.
Something to fit that 5'5" frame.
Somebody buy him a shirt that fits him. We love him, but buy him a shirt that fits. So Roddy Green, the first substitution.
Got a chance to talk to Rod Underwood about Damian Rodriguez earlier this week. Said want to bring him along slowly, not put pressure on him. Obviously a very talented player, great potential that we've seen already in a Chattanooga shirt. Scored his first career professional goal in the last fall season. And here he is before halftime of the first game of the season with an opportunity to make an impression on his new manager. Playing along that right flank in the role of Roddy Green. And how about that quick turn to get around Davey Mason?
There
There goes Rodriguez.
He's random like there's no tomorrow.
Offside flag is up as Mcgrath picked up the possession.
He is quick. I'm sure the Bobcats defense were expecting that.
19 years old, out of Dalton, Georgia. have hit the 45-minute mark in the first half as we await stoppage time. 3 minutes will be added. Ball out for a Chattanooga throw. So halfway through the first game of 2022, what are Simon Neal's bullet points takeaway here after 45?
We're seeing Ron Underwood's team execute, I think, what he's trained to do, which is the possession thing and the quick attacks. So pretty much what he's talked about, he's managed to make it happen. That's great. I'm seeing the new players fitting in really well. You're never quite sure with new people, but they are really fitting well together, and you can tell they've played together. They haven't just met each other the first time in the dressing room 5 minutes ago. It does show, and a lot of the pre-season work is paying off. So, yeah, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I'd like a goal, but I'm happy with what I'm seeing. And I think the folks at home are too, the fans in the stadium, surely enjoying this.
Is there anyone that sticks out when you talk about new faces fitting in well?
Ian Sorrow, I'm enjoying watching him. Roddy Green's got potential. We can get the service. He's going to be very dangerous. Kevin Gonzalez has been signed in the back, so pleased about that. And looks like Alec Rayton's going to have some competition for his place.
Gray tracking down the long ball. Big collision with Anand at the 18.
Collision right in the box. Referee's not doing anything about it.
Gray still down. Rodriguez was fighting for possession, and they'll wave on the trainers again to take a look at Taylor Gray.
I'll tell you what, the trainers are having a very busy game. Some of the players not too excited about that.
Ball was bombed forward by Mcgrath, and Taylor Gray and Felix Anand going for the same ball with a huge collision that Gray certainly caught the brunt end of.
We see a lot of those, don't we? Both players going for the ball, and the Chattanooga players remonstrating with the referee. I think in the trains have covered more ground than some of the players this half. They've done a lot of running.
That's certainly been a busy 45.
It has.
Already one Chattanooga player's had to come off due to injury, and Roddy Green.
Yeah.
And Taylor Gray, who is in the book with the yellow card, being looked at now. Gray been very active today against his former team.
He has. He's shown a lot of commitment, and that's one of the results you get. Sometimes you get a knock from being too committed.
Looks as though he'll walk it off.
I think he's okay. Just
We'll have to head to the sideline.
Yep. So
no sub yet. Imagine Chattanooga may play with 10 men until the end of the first half.
I think so. So they have depth from the bench, so it's not a problem for me to make one, but I think any player wants to stay on. Nobody who wants to start wants to go off ever.
We'll have a drop ball on the near side as the restart from center referee Kyle Johnston as Gray makes his way over to the Chattanooga bench. So the 24-year-old, former USL League II Forward of the Year during his time with the Tri-Cities Otters, will have to sit out the remainder of this half. 3 minutes of stoppage time were given. That time has been spent. And there's the whistle.
That's it. First half 0-0. 2-1 yellow cards, and both teams have some good attempts on goal. Chattanooga having a lion's share. They've got used to each other's style of play and positioning. People are in the right place when the ball is played, which is good. We weren't seeing that quite as much last season. They got a bit ragged on the passing. So far, everything looks good, and the players are where they expect their opposite numbers to be. So yeah, I'd say on balance, absolutely.
Ball at the feet of Nick Spielman as we get underway in the second half. There was one substitute in the first as the youngster Damian Rodriguez came on to man the right flank for former Detroit City forward Roddy Green, left with injury just before halftime. 2 yellow cards given to Chattanooga FC, one to Taylor Gray, one to Brett Jones in the first half. And for Maryland Bobcats, it was Jocelyn Passian, who nurses a yellow here in the second. A quick turn by Darwin Espinal trying to initiate things early on in the second for Maryland Bobcats. Felt like Chattanooga really settled into some possession late in the first half, Simon, generated the better of the chances, but nothing to break the deadlock.
Absolutely, although the Bobcats had that great strike from the free kick. that rattled the crossbar. Chattanooga have been in the opposing box more often and been looking more dangerous.
Cerro had an opening there as Taylor Gray tearing down that left seam. The chance at a through ball, but it was clipped away well by Alvarado, and Chattanooga back in possession. Here's Frankie Martinez. Mcgrath, one of the 4 former Stumptown players in the starting lineup this afternoon. That came along with head coach Rod Underwood, and the former manager at Stumptown, led them to an 8th place finish last season, but really it was more about what he was able to accomplish with what he had, more so than the end result. Stumptown also finishing 3rd in NISA in goals conceded a year ago, something that very much attracted the upper management here at Chattanooga Football Club. That style of play, possession-based, attacking, free-flowing, and something they're trying to put on display here as it's a long ball from Martinez, dragged down in the box, a penalty's given. Chattanooga will have a chance at the lead.
Pulled down by Yaya Fane, pulled him right down in the box there, clearly a penalty.
Travis Ward found the end of the long ball from Martinez, taken down by Fane, and a spot kick upcoming for CFC.
Now we have some drama. Yep.
Center referee Kyle Johnston quick to give the penalty, no card shown.
So let's see who's the penalty taker this season. It's Ian Cerro maybe stepping up to spot kick duties.
Ian Cerro, the former Chicago House midfielder.
I think it is.
3 goals for Chicago last season. Went up against Stumptown in a game a year ago where Rod Underwood looked at an assistant and said, we need to sign that player. And he did that in turn at his next stop at Chattanooga FC. Can he be the one to punch Chattanooga in front?
Crowds on their feet.
Strikes and save. The follow is there, and Cerro scores.
Your first goal of the 2022 season for Chattanooga FC. Ian Cerro from the penalty spot.
And it takes just minutes in the second half for CFC to find an opportunity. Ian Cerro follows up the saved penalty on a great effort by goalkeeper Felix Anand, but it falls to his feet.
Yeah, it was a good save. He just didn't hold the ball, and it broke loose, and Cerro made no problem with that one. No error, no mistake. Put it in the other side of the goal, away from the keeper, and Chattanooga won up in the start of the first half. Now, game on, Lucas.
The 25-year-old from Colorado with his first career goal in a Chattanooga shirt.
Crowd loves that. A home goal is always very welcome, especially at the start of the season for Chattanooga, and the whole stadium's on their feet for that one.
So how does Maryland respond here as Damian Rodriguez is able to poke it away from Davey Mason for a throw-in? You know, Ian Cerro, when I asked Rod Underwood what it was about him that made him turn to an assistant and declare that they wanted them on their team sheet, it was hard for him to pinpoint as the ball is put out for a goal kick. Said he has a quality that you need to play this type of soccer that we want to play, this possession-based, free-flowing style. You have to have a certain type of intangible, and he had a hard time pinpointing it as far as laying it out for me, but it was clear that it was a picture-perfect concept in his head of what Cerro brings to this team, and I think we've seen that through 50 minutes.
That's right. It's one of those things you can't describe, but you know it when you see it. I think that's a case in point. And yeah, tactical awareness is one of the things. Ian's in the right place at the right time, and knows what's going on around him so that he can take advantage of that and move the ball or hold it up as appropriate. And those things you can't really teach a player, they just have to know it.
As Possian ropes it wide to Mason. This is Alvarado.
So we're going to see a more aggressive play from the Bobcats now. That will leave them open to maybe an error or two and another Chattanooga goal. Let's see what they do.
Well, you certainly don't expect Chattanooga to suddenly step into a low block. could be a fun 40 minutes to close out the first game of the 2022 season here at Fort Finley.
Yeah, you certainly can't sit in a one-goal lead, and I've seen teams try and do that, and they've come, adrift very suddenly. So, 2 or 3 goals, yeah, but 1 goal, you've got to keep playing. You can't sit back.
Gonzalez trying to thread the needle, headed out by Spielman. Kept in. This is Gray. Oh, goes for the rainbow, and it's a free throw won by Chattanooga. Taylor Gray.
Now that's a confident player.
My goodness. That'll have the fans talking after this game.
Nice chest down there from Brett Jones.
Zero in a foot race. Anand scoops it up. Forca. Alvarado. Wide he goes to Mason. Maryland trying to string together a threat in response to the Ian Cerro goal. That is lifted out for a goal kick.
Yeah, now, don't forget the Bobcats have got the wind on their backs, and their passes are going to carry further than they realise.
And Chattanooga the victim of that in the first half.
That's
You
right.
see the wind whipping through Finley Stadium on this Saturday afternoon.
And it's going to change too. The flags are right down right now. The flags up above the stadium are flying. The ones there they're up again. The ones down the stadium are down, they're up, they're down, they're up. It's very hard to predict. It's very, very gusty.
Who does that make life hardest on? Whether it's the goalkeeper, whether it's players providing service, forwards trying to track down long balls?
Almost all of those, really, because you expect the ball to fly a certain distance, and suddenly a gust will catch it and it will take off and it will change direction. Or it will suddenly pick up speed when it's slowing down. So it's difficult for everyone, a gusty day. At least it's one direction. It's coming up and down the field from left to right on your screen. If it's across the field, it could be just really wild. See again, Ian Cerro showing that attack there, not holding back when the ball's in front of him. That's what Rob was looking for, I think, that gusto, what do you call it, gusto attack.
That's
trying to think of the right
pressure.
word. Yep.
Interesting to watch CFC without possession, because that's certainly not a spot they want to be in.
Right. But they're handling it pretty well. The Bobcats have only got the one lone striker up front. So the 3-man Chattanooga defence is able to take care of that. They've got Elijah Armour up there, but it's always tricky with just a lone striker. Unless he's a Cristiano Ronaldo kind of person or something. Most of us aren't like that.
Certainly not at this level.
Right.
Elijah Amo, as you said, the Silver Spring, Maryland native, the lone man up top for Maryland. A lot of local products here on this Maryland team.
Yep.
Whether from the state of Maryland or nearby Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that's always good to see too. Players represent the area.
Mcgrath tears through the center circle. Still with the ball at his feet. Alex Mcgrath able to thread it ahead for Jones. Jones with the sliding effort to keep it in play, but it is cleared. And ball is out for a Chattanooga throw-in. Gray with Forka at his back, thrown down and a free kick given. 57th minute, Chattanooga with the 1-0 lead on a 49th minute goal by Ian Cerro, the first of his Chattanooga career, following up a saved penalty by goalkeeper Felix Anand. As CFC embarks on this new journey, not only with a new head coach in Rod Underwood, but a new look NISA in 2022, a long-form season starting now and running through October, with 10 teams split up into 2 divisions. Just looking to finish in that top 3 of the Eastern Division is Chattanooga FC and move on to the playoffs at the end of the season.
Yeah, Nick Spielman keeping it cool there, even with Darwin Espinal trying to pressure him.
Spielman.
That's the experience we've seen from the previous seasons showing through now.
NISA All-League first-team defender a year ago, Nick Spielman.
And if still we're enjoying seeing the new players, I'm all still relieved to see Richard Dixon and Nick Spielman out there on the field. Those two always good to see on your side, not the other side.
Ball out for a Maryland throw. 58th minute. Possession will swing back to Chattanooga. Martinez.
Chattanooga playing it safe a little bit, keeping Gonzalez busy, but at the same time the Bobcats aren't really putting a lot of pressure on them. I have to say, if I was them, I'd be putting a lot more pressure on them. They're not. There's a lot of space back there. Each time the ball does go back to the goalkeeper, there's not really anybody pushing him.
Well, it's as much a feeling out process for Bobcats head coach Sylvan Rostello as it is for Chattanooga's Rod Underwood. Rostello also in his first season with the club and a very much new look for Bobcats as Mcgrath motors into midfield, loses his footing.
Just went down, went a step too far. That's a good ball.
Rodriguez picks up possession for Chattanooga, and here goes the youngster from Dalton, Georgia, Damian Rodriguez. With a man on his back, loses possession. Taylor Gray steps in and hits the ground. No whistle as Chattanooga picks it up with Greg Stratton. Going right at Alvarado, Stratton held up and gets away.
Great play from Stratton there.
Ian Cerro on his left foot, dispossessed. Chattanooga trying to keep the pressure applied here with a 1-goal advantage, half an hour to play in regular time. Stratton over the top, can't connect with Cerro, and out for a Chattanooga throw-in.
Bobcats are a little more physical at the moment, trying to offset Chattanooga's attack. They're finding it a little of a challenge, aren't they? That's why they're having to push a bit harder and actually push people over.
Martinez. Spielman. Dixon. What have you made of Richard Dixon in this new role for the former defender, now playing a defensive midfield role under Rod Underwood?
I think it suits him. I keep seeing him looking back like he misses being a defender, but he's also very solid in the middle. He's got the awareness and the experience to guide the team from being the compass point in the middle of the team, and he's certainly doing that. Something you won't necessarily find a younger player doing, but Richard's at the right point in his career where he's just got the experience and the know-how and the skill to do that really well. But I keep seeing him looking back at Hernandez and Spielman, but they're doing really well. I'm really pleased with those two. They seem to have gelled into a good defensive pairing. So yeah, I mean, it puts Richard in a good place. It gives him a chance to give Juan Hernandez a break and let Richard step into the middle and be captain as needed, because that's such a critical position. So yeah, I'm very happy with him there. And I think it seems to suit him well too.
You see him with the 4 on his back, wearing the captain's band in that yellow kit, directing traffic, pointing players to come and check for Frankie Martinez as he threads it to midfield for Cerro. Taylor Gray along the touchline. Nifty move to step past Boone. Mcgrath. Dixon. Wide he goes. Travis Ward. Back centrally towards Stratton. Greg Stratton, young player out of Missouri State, only 23 years old. The staff took notice of him as he helped lead Missouri State to a top 10 finish in Division I and a Sweet 16 appearance. Chattanooga free kick coming. Alvarado whistled for the foul on Gray.
The Bobcats have got Gray marked as their danger man. They keep bashing him down.
He's certainly seen the turf a lot.
He has.
This
They're
afternoon.
probably right, but nevertheless, he's getting a lot of action.
He got a yellow card of his own from early in the 8th minute.
Yeah, that's a good steal.
Wins it back for CFC.
Good ball. Look at that.
Lifts it far side. Damian Rodriguez has Travis Ward streaking in towards the goal line. It forces a clearance for Chattanooga to have a throw in.
Thank you.
In a dangerous area. I've been doing too much basketball.
I know
lately.
you have. It's all right. It's fine.
It is March after all.
It is. Just last few days.
Cerro at the corner flag. In a battle with Davey Mason. And Maryland looking for the break, just not with numbers. Although Elijah Amo, right up against Nick Spielman, loses the battle for the throw-in.
Only one person's going to win that battle. It's going to be Nick Spielman. Gives both teams a chance to reset a little bit.
Brandon Clegg.
See, there's that loose passing we're seeing where the Bobcats are putting it a bit too strong and the wind's taking it away. We saw Chattanooga doing that a lot last year, and they aren't doing as much of that. If you want to really get a feel for how they're doing with their possession-based play, count the number of passes they complete. And it's going to be in double figures. Apart from that one.
One back by Maryland, and that's just chested out for a corner by Gonzalez. Ball was bouncing in on the attempt from Gonzalez, and Kevin Gonzalez able to parry away the shot from Manuel Gonzalez. So a Maryland corner kick coming as the Bobcats look to equalize. 65th minute. Chattanooga protecting a 1-goal lead at home. Punched away by Gonzalez.
Good clearance for that.
Free kick given after a collision inside the 6.
Yeah. No, it's good goalkeeping. Looks like the Bobcats get ready to make some changes. They've got a couple of players waiting to come on. Number 4, right, is waiting to come on. And it's number 33. If I can read his name. Akinyoke. Is that right? Am I saying that one right?
It's Michael Akinyoke.
Akinyoke, thank you.
Silver Spring, Maryland. So Akinyoke will step in for Alvarado, who's been active in this second half. And Noah Wright checking in for Joseph Boone. So 66-minute changes for head coach Sylvain Rostello of Maryland Bobcats. Noah Wright will have his first touches. Here's squared up against Greg Stratton. Has to go backward to his goalkeeper Anand. Brett Jones trying to make life difficult for the Ghana international. Rodriguez picks it up at midfield. Damian Rodriguez wins the throw-in. 1-0 game here in the 67th. Last time these teams met was late October of 2021, a 1-0 win in favor of Maryland Bobcats.
That's right. In the previous game, Chattanooga won it, I think, 3-0.
Yeah, last meeting here was a 3-0 win for Chattanooga back in the early fall season.
Talking the last season's stats, interestingly enough, Chattanooga finished 5th in the league last season. The Bobcats finished 9th, only separated by 3 points. Which shows how tight a season it was last year.
Certainly was, apart from Detroit kind of running away with the title. It was from 2 through 10.
It really was. It was very close. And Chattanooga's late bloom in the last few games. They started winning games. It just took them up the league very quickly.
Far side free kick set to come in from either Ian Cerro or Damian Rodriguez. Cerro, the goal scorer, to whip it in and thumped away confidently by Maryland. This is Amo. Could be danger here posed by the Bobcats.
We've got 2-on-2. Can Chattanooga get somebody back?
Amo takes it himself, drifts to the right side of the box, surrounded by CFC defenders, and he's dispossessed. Passian puts it up top. Akinyoke trying to dance through multiple players, and handball, I believe, will give it back to CFC.
There's a handball. Good pressure from the Bobcats there. And they were 2-on-2 that looked pretty dangerous.
It really sets the table nicely for 2022 when you look at the way things shook out in NISA last season as Detroit City steps up into USL. They've already won their first game at the USL level, a 1-0 win over Charleston Battery. But now with the East-West divisions being split up, Chattanooga FC in the East with AC Syracuse, Flower City Union, Michigan Stars, and Maryland Bobcats. Top 3 of each division at the end of the year will go into a playoff to determine a NISA champion. And it'll be interesting up next for this Chattanooga group. April 3rd, a road trip to AC Syracuse to see some familiar faces. Former head coach Peter Fuller, former players Sean Russell in Syracuse colors now, so bit of a reunion up in New York.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game to watch when they get them together. It will be the reunion for sure.
But first, Chattanooga looking to finish the job here with a 1-goal advantage and 20 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Ball skips past the sliding effort of Dixon, and it puts on Darwin Espinal. 3-on-3 here for Maryland Bobcats. Espinal on his left foot squares it right into Kevin Gonzalez.
Good goalkeeping from Kevin Gonzalez there. Doesn't panic, keeps under control.
How would you detail Darwin Espinal's impact on this game since that free kick that thundered off Gonzalez's crossbar in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to miss him playing because he was certainly been, making a difference to this team in the first half. He's made a lot of difference to it, and he's been the focal point. So hopefully he'll stay on to the end of the game. He won't get subbed out, but they're trying to make him the focal point as much as they can do. I think he's the playmaker, and he's probably going to be a goal scorer if he gets the chance. Let's hope we don't see that happen. From my point of view, trying to be neutral, but I don't want to see that happen.
Not here, anyway.
No, not here. Somewhere else, but not here.
2 goals and a pair of assists last season for Detroit City. As Greg Stratton able to win a free kick to the protests of Manuel Gonzalez.
Bobcats players are getting a bit more physical now as we go into the last 20 minutes of the game. This is when we see all the pre-season fitness making a difference. See, he's got the fittest team when they come out of the box.
Dixon takes his space, lays it off. Travis Ward, space for a shot if he wants it. Instead, gives right side to Rodriguez. Rodriguez squares it across the 6, and Brett Jones, with a bit of a falling effort, couldn't get a foot on it.
Yeah, we're right through the box. I was expecting Travis Ward to take a shot too. Kind of surprised he didn't, actually.
Was there for him if he wanted it.
Yeah, nobody came on him. Nobody closed him down.
We've got a yellow card, another one in the books here, I believe, for Michael Akinyoke. Correction is actually given to Chattanooga's Richard Dixon for some physical play around midfield. The third CFC player to see yellow. Gray, Jones, and now Dixon. Stratton running right into Gonzalez for another throw-in. Gray loses control of the bouncing ball on this Finley Stadium turf. Espinal spins away from Ward, and Ward with the recovery. Former stumped-down defender closes down. Espinal, and Chattanooga's on here with Brett Jones.
Who's he got in support?
Speeding into the boxes, Jones trying to square up an angle. Shot fake, second time, off the post.
Wow.
Jones did everything except find the back of the net as it's lifted in for another opportunity, and the flag is up.
Yeah, he couldn't quite get the volley, but that was a great bit of play there. Ducking, diving around a player, ran another one, then off the bar. Great play from Brett Jones. That's why he's our great striker.
4 goals last season, matched Marcus Nagelstad for the team lead in the fall. Looking for his first under Rod Underwood.
Well, they'll give him the Bobcats a bit of a scare. But that's the style of play. Possession, and suddenly out of nothing, attack. That's definitely a different style of play from last year. So it's interesting to see how that works out. But Rod Underwood seems to have got that working well. Just be patient, and then when you get the chance, take it at full speed at 100%, and they're doing that.
Wind blowing through Finley Stadium, but a perfect spring day without a cloud in the sky here in Scenic City as Chattanooga tries to close out a special start to the Rod Underwood era. Taking the lead on a 49th minute goal, the follow-up from the safe penalty by Ian Cerro. Underwood, who grew up in Atlanta, just down the road here. Trying to get the first win under his belt as CFC's head coach. A few high school friends in the building, their first time taking in a Chattanooga game. Making the short trip up from Georgia. As Cerro hits the turf hard, and it's a Chattanooga free kick.
Chattanooga getting ready to make a substitution. Chris Nugent, the assistant coach, is talking to one of the players. I haven't seen who it is. He's got his green tabard on when I see it off on. Don't know who's coming on next, but yeah. Good play from Chattanooga again. You can see them pushing the Bobcats back, and they're keeping away from the edge of the 18-yard box. And they're making them go sideways, not forwards, and that's a good tactic to follow. So, let's see who is coming on.
Chattanooga in no rush here for these last 15 minutes plus stoppage time.
All right, Chattanooga getting ready to make the debut. Colin Stripling in midfield, number 8, is going to be coming on. It's his first time playing for Chattanooga. See who Rod Underwood decides to take off in his place.
They'll have to wait to do it as Gonzalez blasts the free kick straight into the final third, and Chattanooga looking for another opportunity to
Good
double
steal.
its lead. Taylor Gray with a chipped ball looking for Rodriguez, but not much of a threat for Anand.
It was a good place there. Actually, take a shot and make the chip himself. But selflessly, he passed it.
Near side it goes to Forca. Richard Forca. Combines with right. Back it goes to Clegg. Rodriguez. Mcgrath collides with Gonzalez, able to win it back for CFC.
But he
and
goes
down
down
for a free kick.
There's a card coming out.
Clipped from behind
Yeah.
by Jocelyn Possian.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And Possian sees yellow, although if that is on Possian, that would be a second yellow
I think
card
it
of the
would be.
afternoon.
Yeah, I think it would be.
So unless we see red, that card would have been directed to another Bobcat.
A little bit of dispute among the players there. So they just settled down and sorted that among themselves, but a few words being exchanged on the field. Good thing we can't hear them here if you have delicate ears.
So we'll await confirmation on who was on the
Yeah.
receiving end of that yellow, because it was certainly not Jocelyn Possian, who already has a yellow to his
I
name.
thought it was him too. Let's see. So Taylor Gray getting the break. Colin Stripling, the midfielder, coming on to replace Taylor Gray. He's been in the walls and knocked around. Colin Stripling, 27 years old, played at Seattle Sounders under 23 and also at Stumptown. So reunite with Rod Underwood once again.
One of 6 Chattanooga players to play for Underwood at Stumptown. One of them, in Tate Robertson, was already on the roster before Underwood arrived here, but Stripling scored twice in 15 appearances for Stumptown last season and makes his CFC debut here. Stratton. To Clegg, 24-year-old from Virginia. Possian. Here's Amo. Tackled from behind. Richard Dixon ends the threat. And Cerro takes a heavy touch to cede possession again to Gonzalez. Here's Darwin Espinal. Squared up on Travis Ward. Looking to go one-on-one. He backs it up. And Maryland Bobcats should have a rise in urgency now as we're inside the first 80 minutes. 10 to go plus stoppage time. Good ball ahead to Amo, and Spielman able to deflect it off of him for a goal kick.
Yeah, a little more pressure from the Bobcats now. They are starting to see the clock tick down, and they're starting to be a bit more aggressive. But as they press higher up the field, it does leave more exposed at the back. If they get a break, Chattanooga will be off, and Brett Jones and Davey Rodriguez waiting to pounce.
Mcgrath. Cerro. Possian able to win it back. Free kick coming for Maryland.
It's a dangerous place to play from there too. Close to the top of the box, top of the D.
And you expect the territory of Darwin Espinal here.
That's a classic place for a set piece.
Both teams looking to start a new coaching era and a new season off on the right foot. Chattanooga ahead. Maryland with an opportunity to pull even. Darwin Espinal saw a long-range free kick thunder off the crossbar in the first half. Could have another go here as he stands alongside Davey Mason. The former U23 Honduran international will wait his turn. Kyle Johnston with a quick chat to the Chattanooga wall. Espinal lets it rip. It's a good effort, and it's in the back of the net.
Wow.
What a strike from Darwin Espinal to find the top corner.
Squeezed it in the top corner there, just outside the keeper's reach. Very nice shot from Darwin Espinal. We knew it was going to be dangerous. There's the proof. So one apiece. All to play for the last 10 minutes or so now, Lucas. This is going to be very interesting.
Looked like Gonzalez got a glove to it, and it just deflected right off the post and nestled into the back of the net, and Maryland has drawn even in the 83rd minute. And what a strike it was by Darwin Espinal. Bit of a delay on the restart here. As Frankie Martinez pleading with...
Yeah, he's claiming he was hurt by one of the attackers, and they say he draw blood or something, but
Kyle Johnston,
okay.
Center referee, not hearing any of it.
Yeah.
And if Martinez did indeed draw blood, he'll have to come off for a moment.
Not sure what he's... he's... Not sure what's going on there.
Tossed something off the sideline. Now he's being directed to go and meet with the trainers.
I know what it is.
So Chattanooga FC. Now at 1-1. We'll have to score another to walk away with 3 points for the first time under Rod Underwood. Martinez back out onto the field. Six and a half minutes plus stoppage time to do it. Sarah combines with Stratton, and now Mcgrath backward to Martinez. Stripling, some of his first touches as a Chattanooga player. It's collected near the corner by Cerro. And Greg Stratton able to spin away from right, get it into the box. It's stopped at the top of the 18 by Mcgrath. Cerro can't run it down. Goal kick coming.
It's a nice idea to get it through to set Cerro off, but didn't quite work out. But yeah, good play by Chattanooga. Getting back in the mix, trying to find a place to take that shot. The Bobcats able to block them out, but I think Chattanooga will not settle for 1-1. The fans say they want 1-1, and we don't either.
Both goals, a product of set pieces. Ian Cerro followed up the safe penalty in the 49th minute to punch in the rebound, and Darwin Espinal from 20 yards away, a free kick finding the top corner. And here's Espinal again, the goal scorer for Maryland. Passian. Gonzalez. Ward will let that one go.
Yeah, it gives Chattanooga a chance to reset with a goal kick, and
Marcus Nagelstad preparing to come in for Chattanooga FC. Wearing the number 99. 4 goals last season. Can he provide a spark to push Chattanooga across the finish line with 3 points here?
I think he's probably, out of all the players on the bench, he's got the best chance. He's fresh, and he's keen to get back on the score sheet again. See, there's enough time for him to make a difference, of course. It could be almost too late to make a substitution. Here he comes. Here comes Marcus.
In the 87th minute, Marcus Nagelstad, the 30-year-old from Norway, will replace Brett Jones. A like-for-like change.
Yeah, Brett Jones has run hard all through the game, so he's due for a break. Plus he's got that yellow card, so he's not as effective as he might be if there's yellow hanging over him. So very popular with the crowd to see Marcus Nagelstad back on the field for Chattanooga in 2022.
And only 4 days after re-signing with the club, Marcus Nagelstad, a pure goal scorer, as detailed by his new head coach, will be given an opportunity here in the 87th minute to make a critical impact. Mcgrath lifts in the free kick. Travis Ward finds a head on it. Felix Anand with no challengers.
Interesting to see if the Bobcats want to play out for the draw. They want to go for a win themselves. 3 points is the ideal way to start the season, and both teams would love to have that. More than 1 point for the draw. But will they settle for the point? They may settle for a point on the road.
The home team has won each of the last 2 matchups between these two. '88th minute. Stratton lifts it down the line. Nagelstad with his first touches. A good find as Stratton surges into the box, goes down through contact, no call, nothing enough for...
Not enough for a penalty.
Kyle Johnston to blow the whistle. Quickly waved it off, and it's the 89th minute. Still deadlocked at 1 apiece. Espinal. The good ball played out in front of him, but Spielman cut it off. Rodriguez. Nagelstad. Over the top, Mcgrath can't run it down. And as we creep towards the 90th minute, Chattanooga just looking to find an opportunity for a winner.
And the Bobcats not going to give them a break. They're going to focus on possession and just defending.
Stripling. Here's Stratton. Stratton, the youngster from Missouri State University. Ward can't collect a routine ball from Martinez.
Tied legs there, I'd say, Lucas. Looks like the Bobcats getting ready for one more substitution. Late, but not too late.
Fans rising to their feet at Finley Stadium as we hit the full 90.
Okay, bring on Samuel Solomon.
3 minutes.
A midfielder for the Bobcats coming on in the moment. And, yep, 3 minutes extra time and number 3 coming on. Don't be confused by those two.
Won't have much time to make an impact.
No, you really won't.
Ahead to Amo. Had acres of space, but ball was too quick to do anything with it. Out for a goal kick, so that will give an opportunity for Samuel Solomon. The Texan, 22 years old, a forward.
Yep. He's replacing a forward. Elijah Amo will come off. 17. Not rushing. The crowd are on their feet in the stadium, urging their team on. The home crowd is very much wanting that first win in the first game.
Do they have a late winner in them?
Oh, definitely. They certainly do.
We'll find out in the next 2 minutes.
Yep.
Everybody on their feet. Rod Underwood active on the touchline in his coaching debut. Stripling. Martinez. Here's Stratton. Loses out on possession. It's out for a Maryland throw-in. Possian does well there. And Bobcats in no rush. About halfway through the allotted stoppage time. Just looking to create one more surge, one more opportunity.
Yeah, Chattanooga getting a bit stuck down here on the near side touchline. They need to spread the ball around a bit more and come forward. They need to make that big push towards the Bobcats' goal. Here it comes.
Here they come with a well-placed ball to Mcgrath. Mcgrath still on his feet, a chance to square something up. Opportunity is skied.
Oh, wow.
Travis Ward couldn't get around it.
Wow, yeah. Travis Ward did not get hold of that well at all. Tried to hit it first time instead of controlling it. And he may have maybe running out of time.
Final seconds ticking off in stoppage time. And
yeah, I think the Bobcats will be happy with a draw, but Chattanooga will not. I'll see that as a points wasted by not shutting that down and keeping the 1-0 lead. But again, as I said earlier, 1-0 is not a good lead. You want to have a couple under your belt before you can really relax.
And there's the whistle.
Well, that's it, folks. 1-1 draw for the first home game.